Hello, Ted Johnson here. I'm recording this video based on a number of questions I've received over the past year about how to read a Google search page and what can someone do to rank their site or their listings better. And so the best way to show you is just simply taking some recordings of different screens and talking about what's coming up. Currently, I have on the screen right now a Google search page. And your Google search page may look different than mine. It depends on what part of the country that you're in or what part of the world you're in, what sort of browser you use. But anytime that you do a Google search or somebody does a Google search, there's generally a Google bar, and you just basically type in what you're looking for. And in this case, I'm going to type in Oregon salmon fishing guides. And as I click the button, what it does is it brings up a listing of all of the different websites it believes I may be looking for. And in this case, it's telling me I've got 578,000 websites that have something to do with Oregon Salmon Fishing Guide. Well, this web page, and this is the first web page of hundreds, is really segregated out into a number of different sections. And the first section up here is 2 listings by companies that are paying to be here. So they may have an organic search where they're not even showing, let's say, in the first 100 listings. But because they're willing to pay Google money, and this is through the system that Google calls AdWords, they're willing to place their ads on the top of the search. But they're marked accordingly. And so you'll see here that we have an ad here and an ad here. These people are paying more than other ads that may be through the search, and we'll be seeing those. And the cost of these ads are determined really by an auction. And one of the ways that you can find out what it costs to be placed up here is you can either go to Google AdWords, which is rather confusing because of all the different screens that you have to go through, or go to a tool that we call SERP. And under SERP, then, you can type in what you're looking for, and it will then give you an idea of how many monthly searches and what it's costing to be on those on the top of those searches on an average on a daily basis. And so in this case, when we typed in Oregon salmon fishing, we came up and it said, well, you've got about 50 monthly searches on average that people type in to Google to find something out about Oregon salmon fishing guides. And so there's a little more than one a day that people are where they're typing in Oregon salmon fishing guides. And the cost of that click is 80 cents. So to be placed on the top of the Google search here in an ad, you're really not charged anything until somebody clicks on that ad. So if I was to click here, then Brooking or Ocean Fishing would be charged about 80 cents for my click. I may not even do business with them. I may hit the site and go out of it, but very, very quickly. But anytime that somebody is clicked here, they pay an average of 80 cents. Now, determined by the amount of searches that are going on and what people are willing to pay. I've seen some searches in the fishing niche or the sports fishing niche go as high as $8 to $10 per click. And those are typically for high-end lodges and that sort of thing that people are advertising. And so anyway, it's all determined based on what people are willing to pay. The next section that comes up is this Google map. And this is actually driven by something called Google Business or Google Plus. And so you get this map here, and then you get 3 listings under that map. Now, this used to be called the 6-pack because there used to be 6 listings. But now Google has carved back on that a little bit, and they're only showing 3 listings here. Now, the way that you get your business placed under the map, there is no charge in it. Google allows you through a Gmail account to go in and set up something called Google Business. So if I was to click on, let's say, Columbia River Adventures here, and I'm not having to pay for this, or they're not having to pay for this, this is a free listing, this is what comes up. And so under their Google listing, it shows their name, a link to their website, directions, and then information about their particular business, such as their address, their phone number, and the hours of operation. In addition, then, they have photos that they can post here, and very importantly, they have their review section. And in this case, Columbia River Fishing Adventures has 16 reviews with an average of 5 stars. So every single one of the reviews that are in there are giving them the most amount of stars. It makes all the sense in the world that this company is on the top of the listings just because of the ranking that they have. Now, if I was a consumer or if I was a past guest, I could write my own review here and I could put that in there. Now, the other thing that comes up when you're here is a listing of all of the different types or all the different businesses that qualify to be shown under Google+. And so we've got Columbia River Fishing Adventures, and then we have Jim Martin's Guide Service, Pages NW Guide Service, and they're all then on this map over to the right-hand side showing you where they fish out of. Now, in many cases, most fishing businesses, guides and lodges, really don't set themselves up right. And in regards to the Columbia River Fishing Adventures, I think the guy's name is Buddy, there's a couple things that he could be doing to his Google Plus account to get a lot more leverage out of that. And it has to do with how he's setting up where his business is. But he's doing a great job. He's on the top of the list, and so we can't knock him for that. So I'm going to go back here. So here's that Google map. Here is the businesses that have taken the time to set themselves up under Google Business, which is a free service by Google. And these are the top 3 that show based on the types of reviews, maybe how long they've been in Google+, and again, the consistency of reviews and the consistency of updating this information. Below that is what they call the organic searches. These are the websites that Google feels are most appropriate when somebody types in Oregon salmon fishing guides. And so we have Double G and doublegfishing.com. If I click on here, it will take me directly over to their website. And Gary Geis has done a great job of positioning his website. It's got a lot of great information, a lot of good content on it, and so he's been out there for quite some time, has a good menu system, and that is why Gary then is on the top of the Google listings for Oregon salmon fishing guides. I'm going to go back here, and it comes back to my listing. And so we've got a number of others that are still on this first page that Google considers relevant to this search. And then down at the bottom, we have 2 more ads. And so Google is placing people on the first page that really probably in many cases don't qualify to be there organically, but they can pay Google just like they would a Yellow Page ad or any other types of newspaper ad and that sort of thing, where they can show up on the first page and get that traffic. Most people, when they're doing searches, only look at the first page. They never go on to the second page. They'll rarely go on to the third page, and after that, you just don't get many visitors or not. So if you're not on that first page, you're probably not getting many clicks from Google. But as you can see, Google has placed 4 more ads on the second page, a number of additional listings, and then 2 more paid searches at the bottom. And so this is a very, very popular term that people are buying. It sort of surprises me that we're only getting an average of 50 people per month typing in Oregon Salmon Fishing Guide and have that much competition on it. And so anyway, that's how you read a Google page. If this video sits out there for some time, it will change. Google changes this up and their algorithms up all the time, and the information that I'm sharing with you today will sunset, and more relevant information will come about as Google changes their algorithms and they do updates to their system. But that's basically how the system works today.